What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Shogun, and today I'm giving my honest review of The Last of Us 2. Now, if you haven't played the game and you plan on playing it and beating the game, then don't watch this video because there will be some spoilers in the video. But I mean, if you don't care, then just stick along. We're gonna talk about it, the whole the good, the bad, and whatever. Now, before we get started with this video, if you guys enjoy my content, please leave a like. If you enjoy my video, please subscribe. My content, please subscribe. I do want to apologize. I haven't been putting out videos here lately. With kind of everything going on in the world, I just took time to, reminisce on stuff. But with that being said, let's get started with this video. Now, I wanted to put this video out. I wanted to give the game some time, to come out, marinate. Let me think about things and stuff like that. Give people a chance to beat the game before I put this video out because I don't want to be the spoiler guy or nothing. And if you guys are interested, I got the whole video on my Twitch, the whole gameplay on my Twitch, and stuff like that. But the good with this game, now, I don't want to sound like a stickler or nothing. But, we'll start off with the good. This game, I mean, it looked amazing. It looked good. It ran good. I barely had any problems with the game. No lags, no jags, no nothing. One thing Naughty Dog did that was real great, and I applaud them, is this game had no loading screens. You literally only loaded the game when you were loading into your game. That was it. I mean, loading into the game, it seemed kind of long, but I understand now why it was so long because from going, it's literally seamless. You go from one scene to another, to another, to another. There's no loading. With the game running smoothly, that was a big plus. One of the downfalls I had to the game was the game is kind of slow. Like what I mean by kind of slow, I mean I know this isn't like Uncharted or something Devil May Cry or something fast paced or something, but it seems like this game is like an encounter. Then you go to a different place, then an encounter, then a cutscene, then you walk to a different place, then an encounter. I mean, it seems just kind of like real slow paced. It's not so slow that I dislike it. I just wish the game had, more encounters, things like that. It wasn't as much going from one place to another place. And the thing that made the encounter so the thing that made it seem like so slow is because if you're like me, when I play single player games, I don't play them more than once. So my first playthrough, I try to get as much as I can. So I'm checking all the rooms, all the back rooms, trying to leave no stone unturned and stuff. And so when you're going from one place to another and there's multiple buildings that are open, I find myself finding the way to go first, and then whichever way is the way to go first, then I go and I explore the other buildings and stuff like that. So that was one thing that kind of, I mean, it's not too big of a gripe for me. I know some people might find they might not like it being too slow, but for me, the game was, I'm not gonna say it was too slow. I was just saying it was slow and it could have been a little bit faster. Now, another thing that people have a problem with this game is the Naughty Dog went pretty controversial with the sexuality in this game. Ellie being a lesbian, and then Abby being kind of bulkish, muscular, and then Lev being a transsexual and stuff like that. I mean, this might make some people mad, but as far as I'm concerned, I mean, I don't give a shit about none of that. I mean, I had no problem with them having a gay character, a transsexual character, a female brolic character. I mean, I don't mind that at all. So, I mean, some of you might have a problem with it, and if you do, then that's on you. But me personally, I had no problem with it. Um, is to me, it was just part of the game. Now, I wanted to get that out of the way. That's not a good nor a bad in mind. It was just something that I didn't have a problem with, and I see a lot of people online complaining about it. But, I mean, who really cares? Um, Now with the story, I will say this to me personally. This is just me personally. The story was not as good as The Last of Us One. Um, Now that's not saying that the story in this game is bad. I just think that it wasn't as good as The Last of Us One's, the first Last of Us story mode. Um, I mean, in the beginning, don't get me wrong. In the beginning, when they killed Joel with that golf club, my heart sank. Like as Abby was beating him with that golf club, my heart was literally sinking because I mean, during the first Last of Us, we went on that adventure with Joel. I mean, he was our guy. Like, we used Ellie, a little here and there, but for the most part, we're using Joel. So, it kind of that right there really they did a good job with that. It really got me in my zone and stuff right there. Excuse me for a second. I took a break right here. This is all from my live stream, so I'm gonna just fast forward a little bit, get back to the gameplay. But yeah, with all that going on, I mean, that whole thing that was good. One thing that I put over The Last of Us 1 that I didn't like in The Last of Us 2 is what I liked in The Last of Us 1 is that they implemented a lot of characters. Every time you went to a different season in The Last of Us 1, that's how they did. That's how they split their game up as in season is you met different characters and you got to know different characters. In this one, it's kind of pretty much just the same group of characters. I mean, you meet different groups of or different factions, but you don't really get to meet the different characters and stuff, and you don't really interact with the different characters like you did in The Last of Us 1. Now, again, it's not necessarily a bad thing. It was just something that I liked more in The Last of Us 1 than I did in The Last of Us 2. But going on with that, in The Last of Us 2, I loved how they implemented dogs. I loved how they implemented the scars. Like when that first encounter with the scars, where you're like when you're walking through the park and you step up on that ledge and you get shot with that arrow, like that made me jump a little bit, and I thought that was nice right there. That was cool right there, and I loved how the scars communicated by whistling. Like I thought that was just so dope that there's a faction in here that does stuff like that. I mean, they're kind of like cultish, if you want to say something like that. They're kind of like I don't want to say like crazy or anything. They're kind of like a religious faction, religious cult and stuff, and they have their own beliefs, but with the scars coming through, or the Seraphites as they like to be called, with those with the whistling and the wolves, or the WLF with the dogs, I thought that was pretty cool. And then some of you that have played the game, this faction right here, I forgot what they were called, but they kind of had the SMGs and the armors and stuff like that. This faction right here really reminds me of a Walking Dead faction, because like if some of you have seen the Walking Dead show, some people will have like zombies chained as prisoners and stuff like that, kind of like how Michonne had them, except for these people just use them for like fun and everything. And then they have humans in prison too. Some of you that play the game, you probably know this part right here. This is where you go and you're Ellie, you look for Abby. This is the end of the game and stuff like that. But as far as the different factions and stuff, I definitely like that. the workbench and the weapon crafting and the character crafting, I did like that as well. Um, I kind of like how you can implement your or increase your sniper rifle, increase your pistol, make the suppressors, all that other stuff, fix your aiming, your stability, and things like that. I did like that. I thought that was very well put together in the game. Um, Now another thing I had with the game. Now I beat this game the weekend it came out. It took me 29 hours and 6 minutes. And to me personally, I thought that was a little long. Um, I don't know, I call it no life in it. I don't know life too many games, but games that I look forward to, I know life them all the time. And this was one of the games that I was looking forward to. And so I just decided before it even came out that the weekend that this game comes out, I am going to no life this game and stuff like that. So, I did it from Friday when I got off work to Sunday evening, 29 hours, 6 minutes. I thought that was a little lengthy. To me, personally, now all this is just personal opinion. I think playing as Abby, I think the game could have done without that. I think Abby's story could have been a cutscene, maybe like a 20-minute, 30-minute cutscene, maybe. Um, I wasn't really in the mood because I spent the whole time playing the game hunting her and, wanting to, get revenge for what she did to Joel. So making me play as her, I really wasn't feeling it like that. But I understand why it was a part of the game, though. Like, don't get me wrong, it was very much so important to the game, but I just thought it was something that, you know, I could have skipped this. I didn't have to be a part of this or something like that. But, with all that being said, some people like lengths, some people like long games. So, I have no problem. If you thought 29 hours of the game was good, then, I'm not mad at you. To me personally, I just thought 29 hours was a little long, and I even missed some things. Now, don't I opened all the safes in the game. I found all the safes, but all the journal entries and notes and stuff like that, I missed some of them. So, just imagine if I went and did all that, I would have had to find some more things, that would have been more time added to the game. Another gripe that I had with the game. Now, this is a gripe. To me, I felt the game was too easy. Like I played it on the hardest difficulty. I mean, I played it on the difficulty before the hardest difficulty level because I figured, when you're in the menus and it tells you about the hardest difficulty level, they say that, this game is like the hardest difficulty level is tough and all that. And so I'm thinking, well, I got to beat this game this weekend. So let me go ahead and just play it on this difficulty. And, it kind of felt easy. It felt like I should have played it on the hardest difficulty level because it just seems like, um, it was just kind of light. And I ain't really like that. I thought it was going to be a lot more difficult than it was, but that's just me. The game might have been harder for you. I mean, if you did play on the hardest difficulty level, then you might feel a different way about it than how I do. But to me, I just felt like that this game was, it was kind of easy for my liking and stuff like that. And now, before I end this video, the last thing I want to talk about is the ending of this game. I did not like the ending of this game. Now, again, not saying that this is a bad game, but I definitely did not like the ending of this game. I went through all this trouble from some of you that don't know how it goes. The whole game we pretty much spent hunting Abby. Then once she finds us, we have a little scrap. Abby whoops Ellie's ass, and then and then That's it. I thought that was the end of the game. So then Tommy comes, shows Ellie that, you know, Abby has been found in Santa Monica or Santa Barbara or some place in California with a Santa. I think it's Santa Barbara. But so we go down there and look for her. We go through all this trouble to find Abby. Coming to find out, she's hanging up down on the beach, her and Lev. And you know, Ellie's about to let her go. And before she lets her go, they have a little scrap. This time you're playing as Ellie when y'all scrap. The first time you're playing as Abby when you scrap and you beat up Ellie. Second time you're playing as Ellie and you beat up Abby with Ellie. And then when it comes time to, you know, finish her, Ellie can't do it. And so I'm thinking that really kind of made me mad. Like, you know, Joel is my guy. Like, we've been through The Last of Us 1 together. Like, so I felt like he needed to be revenged. You know, he needed to be redeemed. So I'm like, yo, we went through all this trouble for her not to find, for her to find Abby, whoop her ass, but then not do the deed, not finish the job. So now, I mean, I can understand how Abby needed to leave, especially if they're going to continue this series. I can guarantee Abby, if they continue the series, I can guarantee Abby will be a part of that series, her and Lev. I mean, they could be the new Joel and Ellie. You know what I'm saying? Like, they could take over the Last of Us series and they can do stuff with new characters and things like that. But all in all, I was just like, man, I went through all this trouble chasing her ass down. And then by the time I get there, you know, it's just like, yo, what is going on? Like, you can't do the deed. You done went through all this stuff. You done killed all her friends and everything, but you couldn't finish the deed. That was just one thing that irked me. And one more thing before I go, I want to talk about the puzzles in this game. The puzzles weren't that hard. So that was another thing I thought they would have, you know, been a little bit more difficult, but they definitely weren't. But with that being said, guys, that's going to be the end of this video. I just wanted to give a little review. Once again, sorry I haven't been putting out content. You know, things have been going on right now in the world, and I just took time to sit back and reminisce. But if you and guys enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. If you enjoy my content, please subscribe. If you have any questions or, you know, comments or concerns, or just let me know how you felt about the game. If you liked it, if you hated it, just let me know. Once again, if you want to see the whole gameplay, it is on my Twitch. It's like my last 3 streams or something. The whole game is. I'm not gonna lie, I messed up on the first 30 minutes of the game. There is no sound, so if you want to watch it somewhere else and then go watch the first 30 minutes somewhere else and then go on my stream and finish watching it, be my guest. With all that being said, I hope you guys are having a nice, warm, relaxing weekend. I will catch you guys later. Peace.